Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to try to help you guys that are struggling in the area of feeling bad and feeling sorry for the narcissist, and then being able to play on your guilt and your sympathy for them and utilizing that to be able to keep you in the cycle of abuse with them, because you feel bad for walking away. You feel bad for not rescuing them. You feel bad for leaving them, quote unquote, alone. You feel bad for whatever consequences they may face without having you there rescuing them and helping them and being that supply to them. So, I wanted to create this video to help you get into a space of not sympathizing with them. Okay, because as survivors, we tend to have really big hearts. You do. You tend to have very big hearts, and that is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, but when you have a big heart, you have to be aware that, other people will see this as a weakness, and they will try to exploit you for that. So I don't want you to not have a big heart per se anymore, but I just don't want you to be exploited for it. So we have to raise our consciousness and our awareness of ourselves, okay? Because you don't have to get rid of your good traits to function in this world. Just don't let people manipulate you and exploit you for it, that's all. So that when you are tapping into your big heart, it's going to and in directions and places that really deserve it, and not to fuel dark energy. But there's some things that you need to be keeping in mind in regards to this narcissist, so that you can come up off of, feeling so sorry for them. This is a person, more than likely, who has sat down with you, at least in the love bomb stage, right? And they've communicated with you, right? So they know about your life. They know about your scars and your battles. They know about the things that you've overcome. They know about the things that have hurt you in life. They know, chances are, about your daily struggles. So they know all the things that you've had on your plate, all the things that you've endured, all, you've shared with them. You've had this intimate relationship, chances are. This is typically what has happened, because they want you to feel like you've had an intimate relationship so that you can feel further bonded and connected with them, of course, so that they can find out what they can exploit about you in the future. And in the present, actually. So yes, they've sat down and they've accumulated or gathered all this information, so they know. They know this and they know that. And yet and still, they wanted to go and be the next person to stab you in the back, the next person to lie to you and be dishonest, the next person to be disloyal, the next person to attack you in your life, the next person to try to put you down and bring you down, the next person to abuse you, the next person to take from you without giving back. Yet and still, after they heard all this stuff about you, they still decided, they made a decision to be the next person to do it. So they weren't sympathizing with you at all. They didn't. So why should you give that olive branch to them, to someone who doesn't appreciate it, to someone who doesn't even care to have it? They just want the supply. Whether you like them or not, while you're giving it to them, they don't care. they're getting what they want. It's not you that they want. It's what they want from you that you can give them. And that's a difference. And there's a difference. You know, let's say I went to someone, and a dear friend of mine, and I needed to loan $1,000. To borrow $1,000 from them. They got a real bad attitude about it, and they made me feel some kind of way about coming to them. And it's like, I'll do it. Like I was just bugging them, but they're going to give it to me. So now I feel like I don't want to take nothing from you. I'm sorry. If you can't be a cheerful giver, if you can't give from your heart to me, if you can't give on a positive note, I don't want it. You can keep that. A narcissist, on the other hand, if all they really wanted was the money, they don't care how you're giving it to them. They're going to take it. You know, I just wanted to give a type of example to explain that. I mean, of course, if it was money that they owed to you, you might just take it anyway based off of, they owed you that, but that wasn't the scenario. But a narcissist, they're going to take it any way they can get it because it's just really about meeting that goal at that point. Okay, or if they know that you're on the fence and I don't know, like they're going to nudge you right over far enough just to get what they want, knowing that they're manipulating you and taking advantage of you in that sense. So, a lot of you are feeling bad for the narcissist. You're learning about what narcissism is. And, for some of you, it's giving you more sympathy for them. But we have to just take a full picture approach and look at the whole picture, basically. Yes, chances are they were abused as well at some point in their life. Chances are in their childhood. And this is where this is developing and stemming from. So they have their own hurts and pains. Yeah, they do. They do. But they chose to deal with it negatively rather than work through their problems, rather than challenging themselves to develop and recognize and realize things. They're running from it, they're masking it, and they're spending their life using and abusing other people. It's kind of like the person that got molested as a child, so now they're molesting other people for the rest of their life. They didn't have to choose to go that route. And if they felt those thoughts coming in, they know that is unhealthy and it's wrong. They could get help for that. But rather than get help, they're coming to it, and they are surrendering to it. They're choosing that life, just like they chose to exploit you. They chose to target you. They chose to take from you, to steal from you. And when I say steal, you can steal a lot from a person. You can steal a person's joy. We ain't just talking about money. You can steal. A person can come in and attempt to steal your peace, and it can feel like they've taken it momentarily. You can reclaim things, of course, but yet and still, this person did this. I mean, most of you have had, like I said, an intimate relationship with this narcissist. They've been in your home. You've shared your bed with them. They've sat at your dinner table. It's highly offensive. You break bread with someone. You share your wealth with them. You're kind. You help them when they had nothing else, perhaps. Was more family to them than their own family could have ever been. And then, in a family setting, because sometimes it's family members that are the narcissists, and usually the original narcissist probably was a family member, beyond that romantic relationship you had. And nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever good enough. We have to accept these people for who they are. I've seen it. I have seen it. There's a family member, and it was my original narcissist, and this man, he's not going to ever budge. But I let go of needing him to budge. I let go of needing him to realize. I let go of needing his apology. I let go of needing his sympathy for anything that he's done to me. I let go of all of that so that I could be lighter on my feet, lighter on my heart, lighter on my psyche, lighter on my soul and my spirit. I let go of needing to have that from another imperfect person that is still incredibly broken and, are in their own disillusion. So I let go of that. And that's how it is. They're not going to give you that closure. We sympathize with them, again, and that's leaving a crack. That sympathy, that's a crack for them to possibly exploit, a crack for them to get back into your life, a crack for you to potentially break no contact because they're wearing you down. The more that they can get you to feel bad, the more that they can get you to feel any type of guilt or shame, the more they can get you to feel accountable for them and their life, the more they can get you to lower your boundaries and your walls towards them, and they can, get a toe back in there, and pretty soon is a foot, pretty soon they're halfway through the door, and the next thing you know, they're in it, and they're locking it behind them. So just be mindful, guys. Be mindful about sympathizing with a narcissist. Okay? You could have empathy from someone or for someone from a distance. Okay, yeah, that's pretty jacked up. Somebody really, messed them up psychologically. And now, they're really broken. But life is full of decisions, and God gives us free will. And you can choose to see yourself for who you are and say, you know what, this is ugly, this is nasty, this is dirty, this isn't right. I don't want to be this. Or you can do as they've done, create false personas so that they never have to really look at who they are, and they can try to live in a fantasy world and accumulate people who will buy into that false persona so that it could feel more real and of a reality. But they know. Deep down inside, they know. Or else why are they creating the false persona? If they thought they were so great, they wouldn't have to pretend that they were something else, would they? If it was so acceptable and wonderful, why can't they just be that? But inadvertently, they end up being that. But typically behind closed doors and covertly. Okay, guys? But I don't want to digress here. Just be mindful. Be mindful and don't get exploited for your big heart, okay? That is this video in a nutshell. Don't get exploited for your big heart. It's okay to have a big heart. We need that in the world. But be responsible with it. Be intentional with it. Be mindful with it. And be careful with it. In the Bible, it does say all things flow from it. And it also says to guard the heart. And we see now, more than ever, how true that is. How hard is it to break a tie after you've let someone into your heart? That's why we have to be very careful who we let into it. We can't just be jumping in just because it feels good initially. Okay, guys? So if this video resonates with you, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do upload videos quite frequently. I have a substantial playlist, guys. Lots of material. please feel free to go ahead and listen to any and all of my videos. You can share them. Let's get this information out. Spread awareness. All right. Make sure you're hitting the bell so that you're getting notified of my videos. Thank you to all of those that do donate to the channel. I appreciate your generosity and your thoughtfulness. If you're interested in coaching, you can email CoachLakia@gmail.com. You can go to LakiaCrawford.com and click the coaching tab so that you can, find out what I have available in that realm. But it's typically, you could do an email session with me. We can do it over the phone and we can do Skype, okay? And there's various ways that you can set that up as far as getting bundles, one-time sessions, monthly memberships, all of that's available, guys. I have books on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com, ebooks and hard copies, very, very creative books that help you heal from toxic relationships. Lots of pearls of wisdom in there, so I highly recommend checking those out. If you have suffered from sexual abuse, I have written a book called Silent Tears, and it speaks right exactly on that, okay? Be blessed with that. Until next time, guys, be careful. Be careful and continue to do the work, all right? And I'll talk to you next time.